Hey everybody! Today I want to talk about electrolytes and getting enough of them. This is something, which is kind of important, especially, well, very important, especially this time of year, especially in the summer when it's really hot, and it's been especially. Anyway, in Vermont, this summer has been incredibly hot and humid for the area. It's been, we've had several days in the 90s. We've had most days have been in the 80s. The humidity has been really high. It's been a very oppressive summer. And I have found myself sweating a lot. And I'm not someone that actually sweats a whole bunch when I'm, working out and stuff. I don't really sweat that much. When I've been riding, I've been sweating buckets. And I just wanted to talk about electrolytes and how important it is to get them. And I think that people don't really, we all know, like, oh yeah, drink a sports drink, or, get your electrolytes in, but nobody really knows the ins and outs of it. And so I think most people know that the main electrolyte is sodium. But unfortunately, sodium has been demonized for a long time, and people don't realize how much sodium they actually need. And if you aren't eating a diet that has a lot of processed food in it, then you're probably not getting enough sodium. So if you're eating a very clean diet, chances are, and you're active, chances are you don't have enough sodium in your diet. And that can lead to some, pretty bad consequences, including like heart palpitations and fatigue and stuff like that. So, because what sodium and the other electrolytes, things like potassium, magnesium, chloride, what they do is they basically are everywhere in your body, and they help regulate kind of everything in your body. They help regulate how much fluid is in cells. They help move your muscles. They help your brain function. They basically do everything, because they're what moves the electrical signals between your cells and everything within. They help your cells to they help your cells with energy consumption, and so they're really, really important. And I think most of us don't realize how important they are. And when I say how important, how much am I supposed to be getting? Like, how much sodium should I be eating? Well, if you're someone who, like I said, eats cleanly, doesn't eat a lot of processed food, even if you salt your food, chances are you're not getting enough sodium, no matter how much you salt your food. Because it really, when you're someone who's very active, and, especially in the summer when you're sweating a lot, because that's one of the ways you lose your electrolytes is through sweat, you're going to need multiple grams per day of electrolytes, of sodium specifically. That's the most abundant, the most important. Sodium and chloride, the two of them together. So sodium chloride is table salt. Sodium and chloride are the two most abundant electrolytes in your body. So that one's the most important. Among, other electrolytes and minerals, obviously. So there's a good chance you're not putting grams of salt on your food. So if you think like, oh, well, I love my food salty. I get plenty of sodium, even though, I don't eat any processed food, but I put, I really salt my eggs and whatever, are you salting with a gram? Because, you often will need that much, especially if you're sweating a lot. So, if the reason why salt has been demonized is because there are all these studies correlating it with heart disease and, coronary artery disease and high blood pressure and all of this stuff. And what they didn't take into account in these studies was the type of foods that people are actually eating. And yes, in a high fat, high sodium with a lot of highly processed foods, then yeah, sodium, like you're getting too much. You're getting too much sodium, and with these other factors, it can lead to those things. But if you're an active person and you're eating a clean, a very clean diet and leading a very clean lifestyle, that is not an issue. And actually, it's more of an issue that more people don't get enough sodium. And that's something that I found, that once I increased my sodium intake, that I felt a whole lot better. I wasn't as tired. So it makes a big difference. And so you might be wondering, how do I get the sodium into my diet? Because I'm not going to put grams of sodium on my food, and you shouldn't. It's going to be disgusting. So what do? Well, you might think, oh, well, I'll just drink electrolyte drinks. I'll drink sports drinks and I'll be fine. Well, the problem with sports drinks is, one, they don't have enough sodium in them. Most of them only have 200 to 300 milligrams. And that's just not enough. They have 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium. You'd need to drink 10 of them to get the amount of sodium that you need, and all the sugar that you're getting with those is, just not worth it. It's better to just not drink the electrolyte drinks. But what you can do is you can just take salt. I wouldn't recommend straight table salt because it doesn't taste very good. But what I like to do is I do two things. I have the pink Himalayan salt, and I put that in my water. So I have this. It is plastic. I might switch to something that's glass or metal, because plastic's not ideal, but it's what I have right now. And I take cup my hand and put just a little bit in the middle of more than a pinch, into there. And what's nice about the Himalayan salt is it doesn't taste salty. If you put straight table salt into your water, I mean, you can drink it, but it doesn't taste very good. What's nice about the Himalayan salt is it doesn't taste salty. It just makes the water, it's hard to describe. It's almost like it makes the water a little bit thicker, and it makes it taste better. It enhances the taste of the water itself. I don't know if that makes sense. Because I've gotten to the point now where I prefer my water with a little bit of the pink Himalayan salt in it, because it just tastes better. It tastes better than straight tap water. And we have well water here, so it's already got some minerals in it. I mean, all water does, but it's not hard. It's somewhere between hard and soft. It's not either one, really. And so it has, it just enhances the water itself. And what's also nice about the pink salt as opposed to the straight table salt is it has other minerals and stuff in it that, balance it out a little bit better. So you're getting just a better, overall balanced, salt from and electrolytes from the pink salt than you are from just straight table salt. But like I said, you can do straight table salt, and I did do that for a while, but it's gross. So I like the pink salt. Then the other thing that I do, and I'm sure there are other electrolyte drinks out there, but I go with the LMNT, and of course I have the camera turned around so it's backwards. But the LMNT has 1,000 milligrams of sodium in it. Now, I did look up to see if there are other companies that have that much sodium. and I haven't been able to find any, because I did look, because I had a friend who I was trying to convince to drink, to get more salt in her diet. She eats super cleanly, and she's like, well, she's one of those people who's like, well, I salt the crap out of my food. I'm like, yeah, well, chances are you're still not getting enough. And she's very active, and she doesn't drink enough. And it was funny because I asked her how much water she drank, and she's like, oh, I drink like 2 of these, I don't think they even had 24 ounces, because my thing has 24 ounces, and I think hers was a little bit less. Or it was 24 or 32, I guess. But anyway, and she was like, I drink plenty. I drink more than everyone else. Like, that doesn't mean that you drink enough. Just because you drink more than the people around you doesn't mean that you drink enough. And I've heard different things. I've heard some people, there's like the classic like 8 glasses of water thing. Of course, what's a glass of water? Is that 8 ounces, I guess, is like what they consider a glass of water. So, there's the 8 ounces of 8 glasses of water thing. There's, the gallon of water a day thing, people. And I actually heard someone recently saying that a gallon of water is actually too much. And it was in a different context. It was in a workout context, but it had to do with like incontinence during lifting. And I was listening to that, and she was saying that actually the whole gallon of water thing is too much. What you want to shoot for is like half of your body weight in ounces, which I thought was a little too little water. But I mean, there are different schools of thought on how much water you're actually supposed to be drinking. But I think it depends on the person too, and how active you are. Absolutely, how active you are depends. Because I'll obviously drink more water on days that I'm riding and lifting and doing farm work and all the stuff. So anyway, what's nice about that, like I was getting at with the LMNT, and I don't have any, I just use them, and I think they're great. They have a whole gram of sodium in them. They don't taste salty. I mean, a little bit, but they have great flavors, great different flavors. They do have an unflavored one, which I don't think I've tried. But then they also have 200 milligrams potassium and 60 milligrams with magnesium. So they have other electrolytes in there as well. And also their flavoring is not sugar. It's stevia. So it's still natural, but it's not sugar. And so that's a nice thing. So if you can find, it doesn't have to be this particular brand, but if you can find an electrolyte drink that has 1,000 milligrams or, equal to 1 gram of sodium in it, that's ideal. And depending on how active you are, you can drink more than one of those a day. There have been days where I've drank 2 of them plus my water with the Himalayan salt in it. And it's really, when you're really active, it's important to get that. And unfortunately, salt has been so demonized that people are afraid. They're afraid to consume too much of it. But you will kind of notice if you consume too much of it. You'll like have a lot of water retention. You'll notice if you're consuming too much before like anything drastic happens, probably. And obviously, like with any supplement, it's best to consult your doctor first before you change anything. But I mean, salt is, wars have been fought over salt because it's so essential to our bodies. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, share it, subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow with a new video. Bye.